Greetings of peace. Welcome to this month's video introduction to the monthly teleclass for members of the RU online program. This month I'm going to be speaking about the nature of the self and providing important tips and insights into how we balance the physical and the spiritual aspects of our spiritual nature. Now, the nature of the self is composed of two aspects, a body and a spirit, but these come from different sources. Our body comes from the world and is essentially the things that we don't excrete or pass, while the spirit comes from the divine. The spirit is literally the breath of the divine that gives life to the body. After all, a body without a spirit is just a corpse. While these both combine to create the self, they're drawn from different sources, so they look to their well-being to different places. The body comes from the world, so it looks to the world for its well-being. It says, I'm fine as long as I have certain comforts and acclaim and affection, while the spirit looks to the divine and draws its well-being from that source. Now, since we contain both of these natures, we have to balance these two aspects of ourself if we're ever really going to live in harmony. Where we get ourselves in trouble is when we deny one or the other aspects of ourself. Our body's from the world, so when the things in our world don't go our way, the body takes it hard, and the self experiences that as pain and difficulty. We have to be able to acknowledge that these painful experiences are present in our heart when things in our world don't go our way, and not just push them aside or ignore them. At the same time, we need to say, although this is here, it's just not all that's here. Yeah, when things in the world don't go my way, a very difficult, painful experience lives inside of me. But we need to remember and remind ourselves that something else lives inside of us as well, and that's our spirit. In these moments, we need to put a comma and say, yes, when this doesn't go my way, it hurts. Comma, I also have spirit. Before I draw my opinion or before I conclude what these circumstances mean to me, I'm going to make sure and include the divine perspective as well. In this way, we've balanced the experience of ourself in the world. So you can see, when we live as if we have no spirit, all we're left with is our body, and then our lives are completely subject to whether things go our way in the world or not. When we remember our spirit, we can say, yes, things may not be going my way, and that hurts, but I have another source of guidance and support and well-being that has to weigh in before I decide. Now, unfortunately, the other problem people make is they try and live as if they have no body. They say, well, I'm just all spirit. And they say, well, I'm going to live up on the mountaintop and connect with the divine, but they lose the contact with their life in the world. When we live as if we have no body, then the self gets out of touch with the world, and what we're trying to do is live in the world, but not be totally of the world. And that's what balances the self. I often say it takes more courage to admit that we're upset than pretend like we're fine. And the desire nature from our body, a lot of people want to try and push this away, or we're embarrassed or ashamed about how upset we get when things in the world don't go our way. Instead, we want to learn to acknowledge these things and say, this is part of me. It's just not all of me. Yes, I have a body. I want things in the world to go my way. The only problem is they won't always. And when they don't, it hurts. That pain is part of who we are. It's just not the whole story. By remembering to include our spirit, we bring both aspects of our humanity to the table when we live our lives, and the self can truly be balanced. In this month's conference call, I'm going to be going through how we live wholeheartedly, how we bring our full body, the desire nature, the self, the connected self to the world, and our spiritual divine nature together in one heart. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for the online program, go to www.liveru.com and check out the free tutorial. It'll give you a background that'll allow you to really clue into this lecture and understand how the world and the divine really come together in the human heart. If you found this video to be helpful, I hope you'll share it with your friends, Facebook and otherwise, and I look forward to continuing our conversations. Blessings.